That's my podcast. Radio. Private radio. Are you pissed at this guy? No, I'm sure I'd probably go along. It's like when you're at the comedy store. Treat it like you're at the comedy store. Really? Just be cool. Gotta earn your looks, kids. Shout out to Humble Budget. Have you circled budgeting your finances? Don't worry, you're not alone. Humble Budget, HUMBULGET.com, is the help and resource for which you've been searching. HumbleBudget.com is a personal finance and education website. This sounds great. Shout out to Humble Budget. Humbled Budget. HumbleBudget.com. Shout out to Humble Budget. We need to get that one too. Woo-hoo. Shout out to Neil Satura. Damn, I did. That sounds. I did it. $350 million. Money in the bank. Shorty, what you drank? Just right here. We'll get him back. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, futurology. Shout out to Coach D. This is a cool system. Are you done? Anybody do who want to say hi? What's the filio, Delio? What's the Delio filio? It's reversed. Fildo. I just friend of mine is called Fildo. Fildo Bennett. Really? Hmm? He's a dean of a business school, a major business school. Right? Yeah, yes. Listen to it. Do that. Sure, whatever you do, don't post it. Dollar Seed. Shout out to Dollar Seed. Look how kick tuckus this is. I love it. DollarSeed.com. Shout out to DollarSeed.com. Living the dream. Damn well near perfect. How are you? Excellent. Absolutely. I stream my life 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, D. So here's what I can tell you and all your listeners. If you're listening right now and you're on the ground level of something really great, this is my third podcast of the day. This is my first podcast day ever. Never been on podcast today, except for today. I started it off in Australia. That person, that podcaster, shout out to that show, the Brandon Green show in Australia. He said, you're going to be the biggest celebrity in global history. And he's absolutely right. My second podcast was with Yaya Diamond. She is Bobby McFerrin's cousin. Shout out to Yaya and Bobby McFerrin. And you are my third D. And I'm going to make everyone who's listening right now rich. And how am I going to do that? I have more content than any person ever. I have more content than the previous record holders of this, who would have been Regis Philbin and Dick Clark. I have more video online and in archives than any person ever, and data is king. Bill Gates coined the phrase content is king in 1996, and that no truer statement than in 2022. I have more content than any person has ever had on the internet ever. I am ViralRabbi. You could I dare your audience to type in ViralRabbi into any search engine, and you'll find more content than anyone. I have more accounts than any person's ever had on YouTube. Currently, right now, on 5 different live streams on YouTube. No one does 5 different live streams at once, let alone does podcasts while they're live streaming. I've been live streaming my life for more than 444 days. I've only started to make people aware of it. And if this sounds to you like, wow, this might be the biggest thing in global history, it most certainly is. You can go to my website, viralrabbi.com. You could see what I have planned. Really, I'm here and I'm really trying to do this for world peace. I don't like people fighting. I don't like people hurting each other. And I really feel as if we as a population, as society, can come together. And if we can do so, having a common platform, if it's my YouTube stream, I want it to be that way. So we have more than a year of a human documented on the internet, like the Truman Show or Big Brother. If you've ever seen those, have you seen the Truman Show or Big Brother? It most certainly is. So that's exactly what this is. So I'm going to be an eye-opening interview for you and an eye-opening guest, perhaps, for your audience to hear, because no one has voluntarily, to my knowledge, I shouldn't say that. People have done on the internet for a year, but they've never done 5 different streams, multiple cameras, and they also don't do them showering, going to the bathroom. I do everything on TikTok. Loom is a new one. YouTube. ByGo is a new one. Kick, Twitter, Twitch. If it's out there, I'm on it. I'm the king of the internet. I'm king of social media. I also have just had this amazing journey of learning social media and how to do this. And really, what I'm here for is equality, people equality. I know a lot of, particularly for women, and I really want to say, but people of all. I'm really here for skin equality. And what does that mean? I feel there's discrimination certainly on people based on color of their skin, and I don't like that. I never have. I've always felt with a passion, even as a little boy, that was something that for which I hated. But on top of that, I think women are uh, 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 they are I would say discriminated based de facto based on their gender when it comes on social media and technology based on their nipples. And what does that mean? Men can show nipples on YouTube and women cannot. And that to me is de facto discrimination. I don't like it. I don't want to have girls or a wife in this world, perhaps one day, who makes a mistake and maybe she has a nipple that shows on YouTube and she loses her account. That's the kind of double standard that we have when her husband or their father can walk around with the shirt off all day long. I'm on my web stream all day long, 24 hours a day, many times no shirt. I can do it. Why can't women? To me, that's just de facto gender discrimination. And I mean, I pose it to you. How do you understand what I'm saying? Basically, women, if they have yeah, exactly. It seems to me like somebody should be the flag bearer for this. And so I'll be the flag bearer for it. I have a lot of documentation here of me being able to use these streams. And if I can do it with my nipples showing, I'm not saying women have to be forced to by any means, but it should be an optional thing. And on top of that, it shouldn't be something for which we deem as inappropriate. It's just skin, and that gets us into the lactation debate and freedom to lactate and freedom to feed your children where needed, and providing those types of locations. I mean, there are a lot of things that on my stream. I mean, I stream my life 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So that means anything that I do, whether it's my taxes, my ATM password is 6308. I put my ATM on I live stream it. Why? I have absolutely no fear. You can know my passwords to everything. I mean, really, everything is on camera. No one's been this honest. And when you say, the Truman Show, whoa, what a eye-opening film. It most certainly is. And I think it'd be really interesting for humanity to actually watch it in real time. And I really feel like getting the word out is really the way to do that. And anyone who is watching or listening and they understand that, wow, I'm really on the ground level here. Bill Gates in 1996 had a statement, content is king. And if I have more content than anyone, how am I not king? And I will make everyone rich who's on this. I'll make you all trillionaires. And we'll be the first trillionaires. We'll explore space together. I see this as a new frontier. You have to think about, I was hearing what you're saying about data, and it's very, very true. One of the things that people have when it comes to commodities is, and you look at the world, you've got oil, you've got water, you've got food. The number 2 commodity in the world is water. Number 1 has become data. Data is the number 1 commodity. And if I have more data than anyone, then you're talking to the John D. Rockefeller of the internet. And I'm going to make you rich, D, and I'm going to make anyone else listening to this who's into self-improvement, who's into entrepreneurship. I really, everything that about which you speak, I'm all on board. So with that, I'm open to any questions you have or any other topics you'd like. Thank you. Absolutely. Great question. I started videotaping my golf swing like last summer, and I noticed that I had some really funny jokes and shtick as I was hitting golf balls at Tiger Woods' golf course here in Orange County, and it was really funny. And so I started recording it along with kind of watching how my golf swing was going. And I realized I had a lot of content over the course of a day. You might get a whole hour in, and that's just you. And if you practice every day or so, or I do 6 days a week, or as I did then, you had a lot of content. So basically, what I ended up doing was figuring one day I'll just start doing this when I'm at home. And when it started, I was in a suit and tie, very, very formal, and I was very I think like most people would have been very conservative around the camera, as opposed to now where I'm in my underwear. I don't care. A year and a half later or so, it really, you kind of aren't phased by the public eye anymore. People have seen me in basically every single country. I've spoken with people in basically every single country. It's really, to me, not anything strange to be so open to the world. So it really was kind of an interesting thing. It was me recording my golf swing. Exactly. Well, I didn't have any enemies, or no, or I didn't think that I did. And so I thought, I haven't really hurt anyone in the time that I've known everyone in my life. I've just had really pretty good relationships with people generally. And so I didn't feel like anyone would come out and be like, "Oh, this isn't who he is. This is absolutely who he is and who he's always been." And so I really felt like it gave me an opportunity in my life to. I didn't have any fear when it came to that. Also, I felt like I could teach a lot of people a lot of things, and we could learn a lot of things together. I know. So by trade, I'm a software engineer, software scientist. I'm a certified project management professional, and Amazon data cloud scientist. So I do have a background in technology, and a lot of things that what I think annoy me about technology annoy a lot of people, and the lack of integration, whether it's in your from your vehicle to your device, or Bluetooth doesn't work, or your Wi-Fi isn't working. There are many things that I feel like with which I could use this stream to improve society. I mean, here's a perfect one. It's almost a stand-up bit. How many bars do you have on your phone? Is it 1 bar, 2 bars, 3 bars, or 4 bars? Anywhere in the world, it's 1 bar, 2 bars, 3 bars, or 4 bars. Why isn't it like signal strength 50%, 70%, 90%? Why can't I get some kind of reading? Those kind of things are things, little things that you see that I know that the overall majority of people will certainly agree. And the big overall theme of this most certainly would be world peace. I mean, I don't want war anymore, and I think a lot of people out there agree with me. People used to talk about no more war in the 1960s. It was a thing, and people don't talk about it anymore, and I don't like that. There's not a whole lot I can do about it except share my life with the world. And I've always been someone who's been pretty honest in my life. I'm not perfect, but I don't really have any fear. I'm pretty fearless in this. I'm not afraid to say anything to anyone. And as we speak, I'm pretty confident that that person with whom I spoke earlier today in Australia is going to be right. that I'm going to be the biggest celebrity in world history. And D, you're going to be a super big. This is going to be a super big hot podcast. Everyone who listens to this, go to ViralRabbi in YouTube. Check it out. You will see I've got hundreds of accounts. You've never seen so much content than I have. And it's like, why do you have so much? Why don't you just have one content, one stream? It would be a great question. Why not just one stream? I'd love to, but the way that YouTube is with the DMCA copyright takedowns, they'll ruin you. And trust me, I started with one stream like everyone does. And so I had to kind of bully Google and Alphabet and YouTube and create a bunch of different streams. So now if a random song comes on the radio and I get a DMCA takedown, that's fine. I've got 15 other accounts to use, and I'll just put one up. And if you always want to find me, you just put in hashtag ViralRabbi, and that's the power of the hashtag, as you can always find me, because I always just put in hashtag ViralRabbi in the description, and then you just search by live, and boom, you've got 5 instantaneous or 6 or however many different streams I have going, but always at least 6 or so different streams going simultaneously in YouTube. And you'll see what we do. I mean, you see a person's day from literally when they awake. No, I mean, barely, like, that was a weird thing, seeing myself awake on camera and what that's like, you know. I mean, very few people have that, to the point where, like, I have fans in the audience who sometimes would like, you know, they're trying to get a hold of me in the chat, or they'll be calling me and I'll be asleep. But there are some things, you know, you can't control, of course. It becomes very funny. I do take the stream on the road. So I've been as far north as Santa Barbara. I go to Beverly Hills. I go to Dodger Stadium. I go to Long Beach. I go to all Disneyland, all kinds of places in Orange County. I'm in Irvine, California. If you know where Irvine, California is, it is near Disneyland, just north of Newport Beach, and just really close to the ocean. So I do have some ocean. Sometimes I go to the ocean as well. It's really difficult, though, as you can imagine, having a single stream and keeping that continuous when you're going through mountains and things like that. So what I normally have to do is take, I have cameras that I have in my car, and then I have that on extra discs. So if I need to upload something, I'm always on camera as much as I can be. And literally no one has more data of themselves uploaded online. No one has more accounts than I do. Few other interesting things that I've done on the stream. I'm the first person, you might have seen the picture, but if not, just look at ViralRabbi and you'd see. I'm the first person to have a black hat. I'm a black hat rabbi, and I have a black hat on in my driver license picture. So that's never been done before. And so that's a really interesting thing about, many people don't even know that you can wear a head covering for religious purposes in the state of California. And so I'm the first person to do that. And so just, you know, for your listening audience, if they have a certain reason, there's a form that, with which you can fill out and at the DMV, and you can do the same thing. But I was the first person to do it, and also first person to have their whole life online. So I've got a lot of firsts in this, and that's why I'm very confident. I'm going to make you a rich person and all your listeners rich. That's correct. I love them. Absolutely. That's what there will be. That's absolutely what there will be. Humanity will learn more from this than they will from the Apollo program. It most certainly is, and you're in it. It's funny. You think you're on, you really do. You think I like, you kind of think I'm on your show. You're really on my show. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, and the, you know, and so what does that mean? I mean, I hope, let's do it every 5 years. We'll listen to this call as it gets big, and we'll just reconnect. This was a big moment where it was like, boom, we knew that this might be something. When you have like an Antiques Roadshow 50 years from now, or whatever that may be, you know, there'd be an antique relic of that kind of archival footage of this. And I most certainly think that would be some things that I think would probably happen as well, is like 360 views of it. I mean, right now I've got it on my ceiling and left, right, front, and back. as well as right in front of me. You have my desktop as well, but I could imagine that it'd be like a 360 view of that. Other things that I really feel like perhaps we might see by then. I know you talked about futurology. I don't know if you've heard of the line, but it's this project that's being completed in Saudi Arabia from the Red Sea. It's like it's a huge project, but basically it's no cars, completely sustainable, completely green project. Some others that I think that may get kicked off someday are space elevator. If you're familiar with what a space elevator is, perhaps the Kuwaitis might help with that. Something. What is that? Basically, you can put something into low Earth orbit to be able to take an elevator into space, and perhaps use that as some type of portal device. There's brain uploading. I heard you say two of your friends had died this year. I'm sorry to hear that, but this should give you some positivity. We're going to get them back. And what does that mean? If I live forever, or if for as long as I can, and I think I may, and I think you may too, via brain upload, we're going to develop some kind of machine together, and we're going to get their DNA, and somehow, some way, we'll be able to get them back using photos and any kind of evidence that we have. Because AI is a thing. It's so smart. Just recently, I mean, within the last 10 years, AI has surpassed human intelligence. We don't know what that means when it is like quantum computing. What does that even mean? How that could perhaps predict the future, or those kinds of things. I have kind of been someone to think, if you knew where every molecule was, at least in a closed system like a solar system, at any given time, and you knew its velocity, you perhaps might be able to tell the future of that. Meaning, it would be as if I had a pool table and I were hitting the balls with the pool cue, and I knew just based on the angle, I could run simulations and basically know where absolutely everything would happen in time. That's the kind of future quantum computing brings. And those kind of things are really interesting about the future. And I really would hope that in 50 years, not only would we be able to continue connecting like that, but boy, some of those predictions might come true. It is. The United States? Absolutely. Okay, absolutely. So there will be some things. I can just tell you right now with certainty. Reparations will be a thing. So there will be some type of system similar to what Jews received after the Holocaust, where people of color, perhaps, or people who trace a lineage to indentured servitude or slavery, would be entitled to a certain stipend, perhaps monthly, year. I don't know how that works, but that would, I could perhaps see, why would that help things? Well, I look at things as logically as possible, and I would say, hey, the people who are at the top and the people who are at the bottom, they don't look the same. And there's a reason for that. It's been unfair that the people on the top have been keeping the people on the bottom like that for so long. It's about time that the people on the bottom are paid back for at least some of those things. And on top of that, it helps to provide for a more equitable society when you don't have so much at the top and not enough at the bottom. I really, if it sounds like socialism to some extent, I guess it is. But I really feel like there should be power to the people is really important to me. And so, no matter your race, but particularly if you were affected by indentured servitude or slavery in the United States, I think that that would be perhaps something. But when it comes, that's a fiscal policy that doesn't get to the heart of it. What's the heart of it? If you want to know what the secret is, D, to racism, it's right here. And I'll quote Morgan Freeman because it's from whom I've learned it, and it's absolutely right. And you'll remember this for the rest of your life, I bet. Morgan Freeman said, if you want to get rid of racism, it's very simple. Stop talking about race. So, what does that mean? If society never mentions black, white, yellow, red, green, blue, if you never mention it, it goes away within a generation, and kids never talk about it anymore. And that's what will eventually happen. We will all be a color, like a neutral color, somewhere between a black person and a white person in the middle. It'll be a common color, and we won't talk about race anymore. We aren't there yet. We're getting there. We're in the generations, perhaps 2 or 3 generations before then. But people perhaps may listen to this in the future and say, wow, Rabbi Rothschild was had a lot of foresight to be able to see that, because it's literally impossible to keep I shouldn't say literally, it's nearly impossible to keep a, a, a populace segregated as we have. The only reason why we have any different colors and we are now somewhat mixing is because of transportation. The ability for people to be able to travel somewhere within a day makes dating easier, makes relationships easier. Before, to get from Africa to the New World was a terrible process. To get from Asia to Europe was a incredible process. So there wasn't intermixing amongst societies. Now it happens every day, and it's a positive thing. And so the old world where people are segregated and don't intermix is gone. There's a new future where it's people of one color, perhaps, and really standing up for their rights. Most certainly. It, if I could take a second and agreed, absolutely. I would like to plug Black Lives Matter. I do support it very much. So I feel like the people who are doing their best within, I know there are a lot of good people trying to do their best within the organization. I know that the organization can't always control what happens, but I do want to say, I mean, in the last few years, the amount of change, social change that we've seen from that organization has been really impressive. That's not the only organization that I support, but I most certainly support it. That multi-ethnic discussion is something that we'll continue to have, and I really feel like Black Lives Matter has an important part of that. I think a lot of people do. I'm really excited for people to have that Morgan Freeman moment where one day we don't talk about race anymore, and until we're there, here we are. But that's the key. Societies that don't talk about race are the ones that are homogenous, essentially, and we need to move towards that. That's correct. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It comes from God. It comes from God. In fact, I moved to California. I might be its biggest proponent in the history of mankind. Nobody else enjoys CBD live on camera for years and without issue. I moved to California from the Midwest May 20th, 2008, after writing a paper in college on Proposition 215, the Compassionate Use Act of 1996. I had learned that California was a very special state that allowed for exemptions for people with medical conditions. And I felt very guilty, as many people do who do it, perhaps, or maybe know people who do it, and felt a lot of guilt in places where it was outlawed or culturally seen, you were admonished for it. So I had written a paper and really was inspired by it and moved the day after I graduated from college to California in search of it. And really, I would say it's something that I see is completely beneficial. I mean, here's a perfect uh, example. Look at Keith Richards. Look at Willie Nelson. They're living. The people in my life who drank are all dead. I don't want to name names because I don't want to, call them out, because I really do think people in the future will listen to this, and I don't want their, you know, progeny to be like embarrassed that the rabbi said, "Oh no, that's that so and so was a drunk." I don't see it that way, but those people are dead. The people who enjoyed CBD, and that's what I call it because I don't even know what it is, and most people don't. They don't check the genus species. Nobody's testing it. They just enjoy it for whatever it is for the most part. Those people are still alive, and the people who died of liver failure decades ago, those people are gone. And boy, those people who are still living, the Willie Nelsons and the Keith Richards, they sure put out some beautiful music, don't they? So I most certainly am pro 420. I'm also LGBTQ plus. Now, what does that mean? And that means legally. Okay, so most people, when they say I'm LGBTQ plus, that's great, and I support that. But most people aren't legally that because they don't have the opportunity to do that in their state. I did. I went to the DMV and registered when I could as LGBTQ plus. Why? Well, if brain uploading is a thing, and it is, it's how do you brain upload? Basically, you have an MRI. If you've ever had an MRI, I've had two of them. It basically is a map of your brain, and you don't know everything that's in it, but basically, it could map where the molecules are in your brain. Well, imagine we just knew where that was and we saved that data. And then we could either create a clone or maybe some kind of hybrid person and put your brain in there someday. Well, then what is that? That's immortality, essentially. That's brain uploading, but that's definitely going to be a thing. So if we're able to do that, we're going to get your friends back, but also we're going to continue. And if we're going to continue, some of the projects of which we may try as a society are asexual reproduction. What is that? Basically, like a man who or a woman who wants to have a child but without a spouse within themselves, and maybe have like they could be hermaphroditic perhaps, and they could have perhaps like synthetic organs, or it could be done in some kind of peach tree dish. But basically, these are the things that you talk about with future technology and futurology, and those are the things that I think people may want to do someday. And I don't want to be closed to it. I don't want to be this caveman male who was like, absolutely not. I absolutely only ever want to have sex with women. I have only had sex with women, but I can say this: I've had sex with guys' wives, and the guys have been present. That's more than most guys have done, at least when it comes to most anything. And it shows at least that I've been a little bit of a little uh, experimental, so to speak. So that passes for quite a few people. But on top of that, I really did it because I didn't want some boy or girl who was sitting at home who was asexual. And asexuality is a thing. Someone who doesn't necessarily uh, uh, choose one of the boxes. They just don't want to be anything. I wanted them to feel comfortable with it and to know that there was someone out there who was comfortable doing it. I have had relationships with many women, and I'm proud of that because they've all been really great, healthy relationships. And frankly, if I ever live forever, or let's say I'm 80 or 90 or 100 years old, and science comes out and says, hey, you might be able to reproduce with yourself, or you might be able to reproduce in a bowl, or whatever that is that L, is that G, is that B, is that T, is that Q? To me, that's plus. That's someone who's a really forward thinker. So whatever that was, I didn't want to count myself out of it. So for a few reasons, I wanted to do it really as someone, because I know there are kids out there who would fear checking the box. They would have that fear, and there'd be all kinds of protections perhaps that they might not be able to have. And I've never known anybody to check that box. So I checked that box. And then also, to say like, I don't fit in any of the LGBTQ plus categories really well. I wasn't closed. I'll say this: I wasn't as closed off to a lot of things as I once was, and I don't think other people should be. When you start to think that we may live forever, if you've been a man 50 times in that clone, don't you want to be a woman at one point? I mean, wouldn't you? At some point, I feel like you would. So I don't want to close myself off to that either. I appreciate that. Absolutely. You want to know how I'm going to take over the world? I appreciate that. I really do. So here's how we do it. I have a friend of mine's business, and he has a purse company, and it's basically like a purse of the month club. He's going to give me 51% of his business, and for that, I'll make sure that his family, once this stream gets big, is taken care of for the rest of time. He gets to keep 49% of the business and do with it whatever he wants. Then I'm going to go to another business, and I'm going to say to them, look, my friend just did this. Give me 51% of your business. I have all this data online, and you get to keep 49% of your business. If I go to General Electric and I say to its stockholders, I'll make sure that you all are taken care of for the rest of time, 51%, all they have to do is a stock split, basically, is what it would be, perhaps, and sell 51% of the company to a mutual fund. That's when you're getting really big. But basically what my plan is to go to companies, start small, but it would take off like gangbusters once somebody figured this out, and say, look, we have a really good thing here. We want to create an equal society, and we feel like perhaps many corporations are too big, and they should have more of a societal duty. And I really think a company like, I'll just say it, a Goldman Sachs out there, who has all the money that they ever will need. There's no one that's going to, perhaps have a bigger name than Goldman Sachs will easily see its shareholders say, you know what, this rabbi has more content online than anyone, and he's getting all these companies to start giving them 50% of their stock, 51% of their stock. And on top of that, that puts us on a list basically. And that list means that if we own this stock, we're going to be trillionaires because this person, they've hit the gold mine. They have more data than anyone on in the world. I really feel like it will be a domino effect. When you say you're a genius, I really appreciate that. That's a very high compliment. And I'm going to tell you this. If it turns out to be right, I'll make sure you're one of those trillionaires. I really mean that. I don't want your kids, if you have children or you plan to have children, and if you don't, I want you to start planning for it because I'll make sure I'll do everything that I can to help you to live on and so that your kids number the stars, just like they talk about in Torah. I mean, really, I want to help everyone out there who helps me. So if you're out there and you hear this, please go to viralrabbi.com. It's my website. It's hashtag viralrabbi in any search engine, but just put in hashtag viralrabbi into YouTube and search by live, filter by live, and you'll see this is going to take off big time. This is, if you're like, man, am I hearing this? Is this going to be the biggest thing in world history? Absolutely. This is by far the biggest thing in world history. So it's something about which to get really excited and tell all your friends and family. Well, it's absolutely. He didn't, he truthfully, he's going to get the rash of the media, but he didn't say anything that isn't 100%. I don't want to say 100%, but potentially 100% back verifiable with facts that Jewish people have a lot of influence in the media. And to quote Ben Stein, and what of it? Basically, and that's the way that it falls. What I want to do is give people an opportunity. Judaism before was very closed off. Within Jewish law, we do not open ourselves up to other people in society. It's part of Jewish law, especially within Orthodoxy. I wanted to change that. For once, the world had the ability to see an Orthodox rabbi who dons tefillin every single day, who reads from multiple what are called Siddarim and Siddarim, and essentially, I do everything that I can to be as religious as a person while also promoting my stream and those kind of things too. What Kanye West said. Here's the thing, to the Jewish community, what would I do? What would you do if I told you Kanye West's mother is Jewish? How would you react to that? Now he can speak, and you can't take away his voice. He has the same way of speaking. Too often, the Black Jew has been left without the voice, and people don't take it seriously that Kanye West's mother, you can follow it to Ethiopian Jewry. And so for him to be, I feel like he should be able to say that, even though perhaps he's going to take a lot of brunt in the press, in the media, because of its ownership. It isn't to say that what he didn't say was true. And I could say to my fellow Jews, rabbis, Rebbitzins, anyone from from Crown Heights to Tel Aviv, look at ownership of the media and look at the last names. It's a certain way. They're Jewish owned. There's no doubt about it. It's a thing of pride. We should have a thing. I mean, we have a thing of pride of it in our community that we've been successful. It's time to help the greater community, and that's what I challenge Judaism to do. So, what does that mean? Really, it means to open up its doors to conversion. It never did that before. Your Jews always were closed to conversion. So, what does that mean? It's a new kind of modern orthodoxy. You see, there's a new kind of technology that's here. It's the electric car. The thing that has split up Judaism for all these years is the ability to drive on Shabbat, on Shabbos. The ability from one community, so you had to live within a certain community. I live within a certain community, so I can walk to where I need to walk on days when I need to walk there. It's just how it works. But halakhically, or according to Jewish law, when it comes to the rabbinical prohibitions, that's on combustion. And when you have something known as the electric USB lighter, the electric car, there's no combustion there. So that means Jews will be able to program their cars and go from point A to point B, point Aleph to point Bet, almost instantaneously, and plan their whole day. Everything will be on a smart grid, smart computer, and really the what we would have considered the constricting modern Orthodox world, or the constricting Jewish Orthodox world of, say, the 1950s will really be a freeing thing I look forward to in the 2020s. And I really want the world to be a part of that. So those people who, let's say, were jealous, because at a certain point, from what does anti-Semitism stem? It's a jealousy. I have what you don't have, or you think something about it special. Let's open up the doors. And so if you want to learn how to do it, that's why you watch the stream every single day. Do what I do. You'd see exactly what you have to do to be a Jew. I teach you how to be kosher. I would teach you what Shomer Shabbos is and being a guard of Shabbat. It's really a once in a lifetime opportunity for the world to peer into that. So I really want to open up conversations. I'd take Kanye West's side. Absolutely. From what I've read, okay, what he said is basically that Jews run the media. And I would say he is absolutely, as a Jew, as a rabbi, he's absolutely right. There are other people who run the media as well. And that's fine. Jew is black, it's white, it's Russian, it's Sephardic, which is Spanish. It's a lot of different things. So I don't want people to think that it's one kind of person. Get that out of your head. It's a lot of different people. But I wanted to open that up to people. I think there are a lot of people out there. Perhaps you're someone like that. Perhaps Kanye West is. I know he's someone like that. A lot of people out there have mothers who they could genetically link themselves to the Bible. And what do you do with those people as Jews? We say that if your mother is Jewish, you're Jewish, basically, in its past matrilineal mitochondrially. Well, if there's some kind of DNA test that can find that, and I've had it done, I shouldn't say I've had that done. Someone in my family's had that done, but I have the results that I can link myself. That isn't to say that other people can't as well. Why shouldn't they be welcomed in? And Kanye West, I would welcome him in to the Jewish community and to my shul. Why? His mother's Jewish. There's no other thing about it. If we want to debate that he shouldn't get a voice, or he's not been religious enough, that's different. But in my opinion, if his mother's Jewish, he has a voice in this, and I feel like it's been taken away. He's used a really great term. I believe it's called being digitally silenced, or something along those lines. I know what he's been. I don't think that's right that they take away his platforms. I salute him for buying Parler, so he has his own platform. So perhaps he gets his voice back. But I was someone who felt this: sticks and stones may break my bones, words will never hurt me. Say whatever you want. Kanye West could talk about Hitler. He could talk about Boutros Ghali. He could talk about Benjamin Netanyahu. Let him talk about whatever he wants to talk about. People can buy whatever records they want. People can listen to whatever they want on iTunes. I don't feel like the corporatocracy has to get involved in all this. And then I really would flip it on them. What would you do if I told you that Kanye West is Jewish? Then what are you going to do? And everyone says, oh, well, he has then as much right to say what he wants to say. Not to say that he doesn't anyway, but he has even more right to say it than perhaps to be able to criticize his own people. Maybe he's an assimilated Jew, someone who perhaps had a Jewish mother, a single mother in outskirts of Chicago, or I'm sorry, inner city of Chicago. But if you trace that woman, she could trace herself up from the Great Migration to the Deep South, perhaps. I don't know this exactly, but then from some perhaps ship from Ethiopia or somewhere else in Africa, and those Ethiopian Jews, of any Jews that I've ever encountered, are the most dedicated to Torah. So it would even be even higher praise to come from that kind of stock. So for people to take away his voice, I really feel it's unfair to him, but I understand how it is. Everybody's got a boss. I really feel like people are going to wake up and they're going to see I am the boss. I have more content online than anyone. Nobody just cut our stream. Nobody. I can say whatever I want, and for me to be able to critique my own people, they're going to find out they've got a boss, and I am he. It's wherever I don't get banned. So I work on something so hard until I get banned on something. So what does that mean? I have bots that I've created that basically will automatically upload YouTube or automatically tweet for me using basically a program that uses an overlay on a phone. It mimics touch gestures of someone, so it thinks someone's clicking it, and it's actually posting whatever I want. So I really test all the limits. So Twitter, I'll tweet a single person until they ban me, and then I'll keep tweeting out. I'll tweet massively. I'll tweet one person. I'll try everything until I get banned a few days there. Okay, whatever. Then and I'll create like 50 accounts, not just one or two, 50. Like Kanye West, if he creates 50 accounts, they're going to ban him immediately. I already have 50 accounts. They don't know who I am. So when they find out who I am, it's like, this person has more accounts than any person in history. They have more channels to distribute their information. You can't ban them. If you do, they'll just create another thing, put hashtag ViralRabbi, and everyone will be able to find them. That's the thing. If Kanye West like had a, I'm not saying that he doesn't. He could use hashtag Kanye everywhere, and he does to get his word out. But basically, you always know if I get banned within 20 minutes, I'll have another account. And unless YouTube changes its entire policy where you don't have your SMS and the two-factor authentication and all of that, it would take a lot of work to be able to do that. And trust me, the word will get out before then, and then I'll be able to, perhaps I don't want to create my own platform. Really, I just want to live my life normally. But I really feel like I could help people with it, to be able to get out the word. When it comes to the different platforms, though, I do find once I've got the YouTube streams going, then I experiment. So that's how I've gotten into some new types of social media. Omelet, which is like a new kind of Twitch. And if you know what Twitch is, Twitch was the old Justin TV. That's how Joe Rogan started way, way, way back in the day. His first podcasts were on Justin TV, which became Twitch. So Elon Musk bought Twitch for Twitch. He bought Twitter as well. I'm sorry. No. I misspoke. I'm sorry. Jeff Bezos. I'm sorry. I misspoke. Jeff Bezos. I absolutely misspoke. Jeff Bezos bought Twitch in 2014 for $984 million, and it still sucks. Global gaming should be everywhere. We should be coming home from school and gaming. We should have video on video. Everybody should be gaming right now. Twitch really hasn't become anything, and I really think that it really has a big opportunity. And so what I found is that Omelet is a big competitor of Twitch, and so I do a little bit of gaming and do get some people there. I would say as well, the big thing that Omelet allows you to do, at least the premium account, is I can log in with one and be on YouTube, Twitch, some other ones at the same time, like 4 at once. So just from one stream. On top of that, some new ones your listeners probably, of which they haven't heard, maybe they have it, Bigo. There's of course TikTok. There's Kick. There's Omelet. There's Loom, which is a new one, LOOM. There's YouTube, of course. There's Snapchat. Snapchat has a web feature now, which is a new feature that's out there. It's web.snapchat.com, and you'll be able to log into your Snapchat using a web browser. A lot of people don't know about that. There's Reddit. I'm on Reddit, Imager. I'm trying to think about Facebook, Instagram, of course. Any other big ones that I have found that are really the best. One of the best apps out there is Reddit. And whenever I go live on Reddit, I get really, really popular, but they don't like the idea of someone streaming their whole life. It uses too much of their resources. So I understand that. That's another thing, another issue with which I run into with these companies is they'll say that you are using too much of their resources. Reddit has told me that, and basically they don't want a 24/7 stream if they, because that costs them money. YouTube and Alphabet is basically the only one. Oh, Vimeo, I've done it. I've done my whole life on Vimeo as well for some time, and that works pretty well. But it's like $800 a year for their premium availability to do it. I don't want to pay that. I just like the availability. Just do it on YouTube. And plus, if I were telling you, oh yeah, go to Vimeo right now, nobody would care. YouTube, I'm the king of YouTube. Just put in ViralRabbi into YouTube. Nobody's got more content in history. Is it all exciting? One day, yeah, it would be. People would even find me sleeping exciting, I think. There'd be sleep streams. I mean, that's a new thing that people have, are people watching other people sleep. It helps other people to sleep when you know someone else is there, or to hear them relaxed and all those other things. People find fascination in the strangest things, in how I eat, how I sleep, how I go to the bathroom, how I shower and bathe. Really, everything that I've done in my life has become out there for society. And I wanted to use my stream as a platform to hopefully dedicate it to world peace. I mean, really, if I had so much power that I think I may have one day because of all this data, why wouldn't I want world peace? It really is. What are you doing this time next week? And if not, then we'll discuss something soon, because this is this is a real life Truman Show. I'm going to make you so rich, but it will be very interesting for you to see it build. You're like, hey, I've got this real life Truman Show. It's a little art project that this person started, and he calls in once a week, and we get an update on how the rabbi's doing. Excellent. Well, then we'll be in touch through our modes of communication, and I look forward to speaking to you hopefully next week, God willing. The easiest way is to type the pound symbol hashtag ViralRabbi into YouTube search and filter by live. I have multiple simultaneous streams going at once during any one time. You can also go to my website, which is very easy, ViralRabbi. That's ViralRabbi.com. Excellent. Lots of love to your sponsors. Thank you so much, Dee. Thank you, listeners. And again, share this with your friends and family. This is going to take off like wildfire, okay? So spread the word, and I'll make you rich. This is all on camera. It's documented. You can be like, I listened to you on the D on the 11-1 podcast. It was your first podcast day, and we'll get you in on this. We'll make your bank account really big. But more than that, when you have all the money in the world, you just want comfort. And at the end of the day, I want to make sure you, D, and your listeners' families are comfortable. Absolutely. Take care. God bless. Dude, shout out to D for letting me have all that time. Really? Yeah. Why? I was like, oh, motherfucker better hurry. Not him. He was cool. Custom offer. Media contact details. That's tight. What do you call that thing? ViralRabbi? That was fun. Really? Yeah. Shout out to D. Demetrius? Oh, that's his name. Shout out to Demetrius. Really? My father is a mentor, or was, to a young man now named Demetrius. And I'll just say, kid, my father was so good, and he would know it, that he like overflowed the bucket of fatherhood. Gotcha, bitch. And like I was growing, I was at the university, and he said to my mom one day that he was gonna start mentoring a young man named Demetrius, and I couldn't remember his name. Really, yeah. What do you know about Demetrius? I know it comes from a good mom and has good siblings, and would make sure they're all taken care of. And they live in a cool place. I've been to his house one time, and why? Did you ever meet him? Um, I couldn't tell you what he looked like. So. No, but why? I think my parents took him to a university basketball game, a women's basketball game, and he forgot something in the car or something like that. And so my dad dropped it off at their house. And how'd they meet? There's just this mentor protege program, like in Seinfeld. And so who's this man? I mean, when I was in high school or college when my dad said it was going to happen. And so what would your dad do? Demetrius, I could say this, had, I don't know if he had learning disabilities, but I'm sure he did. He had a problem reading. My dad would say he had a problem reading. Really? Yeah. Why? He wouldn't say he had a learning disability. He'd just say he'd be simple about it. He had a problem reading, and he needed to read to people more to enunciate and get to be a better reader. And so there was a program at Swanson School, an elementary school. I never went there. Never been in. I went there and there once to vote, really, for Barack Obama in 2008 primary, and I will be the turning vote over Hillary Clinton. Didn't you know it? Really? Changed the course of history, that vote. Anyway, I remember with my friend, he's like, you don't want to go vote. Come on. He was driving. I'm like, we're right there. He's like, come on. I'm like, dude, we're right there. Why? I wanted to vote for Barack Obama. Why? I wanted to vote for a black president. I want a black president. I want a woman president. I want a Latino president. I want an old president. I want to see all the presidents. I want to see all the whatever all the popes are. I want a black pope. I want Father Bento to be a black pope. I want to be the red pope. Really? Yeah. Really? Rabbi could be a red pope. Really? I think so. I've been on a hell of a religious encounter. LGBTQ plus. That's what that red pope is. Anyway, are you done? Are you done? You just need press release. Sorry to, I'm sure fucking Elon Musk would probably buy Twitch someday. Really? Just because I fucking said that. Really? Which is cool. Who gives a shit? He spent $984 billion on this motherfucking thing and didn't do shit with it. Really? Yeah. Shout out to D for being like, when did he buy that? Really? Yeah, I'm so sorry. But yeah. Shout out to Mark Thompson getting big during Tim College. Hey you, I love you. Whatever person's watching, I love you. Yo, I should be like, dude, you're a natural. Really? I'd be like, Yosh, I'm a natural. Kids, you either got it or you don't. I got it. Have you ever had anybody tell you that? Yeah. My grandfather used to go to class at 33 and just like show off to his friends. I used to have so much. So there's this place called MLC Cafe or something. MLK Cafe is what it's actually called. Sure, let's call it that. MLC MCL Cafe. Yeah. And my grandparents were like retired, and I was always worried they were gonna get robbed, and I was always worried they would always run out of money. Little did I know I'd be the one to get robbed and have no money. But nevertheless, I was always worried about these old people. And one time we went there for the class of 33. And why did you go there? They always met at like noon on a certain day. My grandfather had friends from high school, and from his graduating class or the class right around there. It's like if you have like 6 people in the class of 32 and 7 people in the class of 33 and 4 people in the class of 34 and everybody else is dead, why not just combine them and they just whatever one had the most class of 33 is what it's called. Really, yeah. And I would go there and you'd say you got rhythm kid and you got yeah. Are you done? What's rhythm? The ability to keep a beat. You should be like Superman. Superman pill. You're like, no dose. Can you tell a difference yet? Why? I haven't in a while. Like that much stimulant. No dose is a thing. It's powerful. Okay, you know how to do contact. My mom would be like, you know how to do contact for me better than anyone. Who, what, where, when, why? I like that. Contact information. Who? Dude, you've already done this. Why? When things were as dark as they get, would Yosh be number 2? It'd be damn well close to it. Really? Yeah. Anybody else? My friend Harry. Ari's closer than Yosh. Ooh. Um, maybe. Really? Yeah. I used to text Ari every single morning at 3:33 every single morning for years while he was dating and then engaged and then married to his wife. Still pray for them every day. Why? No amount of prayer is gonna fix that is. Dude, just do it on here. Really? Is that possible? That movie with Bradley Cooper's up there. Are you Bradley Cooper in that movie? I think so. Is it called ESPN? Website? No, not that shit. It's supposed to look kind of serious.
Field flag football teams. New York City, New York, the Yeshiva University has even more reason to celebrate. U has been granted official permission to field flag football squads. This announcement includes the opportunity, should players wish to play on Saturdays, so long as players limit sweating, a source close with ESPN has informed the Associated Press. The ruling comes from the highest authorities within the sport of flag football. Flag football has been played since at least 1940 and has expanded rapidly at an international level in recent years. According to the foreword this year, Yeshiva University High School of Los Angeles, usually referred to as ULA, joined a new girls' flag football league co-sponsored by the Rams and Chargers. LA's NFL teams, and at the end of the season, each team was invited to send one player to the Super Bowl. But ULA has had their flag football team since before either
I make Cord Demetrius sound like he's a fucking
It's one of several Jewish
goddamn
schools
Stephen
across the
Hawking
country where
here.
the sport
No,
was an
he wasn't
incident
like
when girls played
it's like a
it before
totally
boys
normal
did.
kid who just needed someone perhaps
New
to
York
listen
City
to him
Los
read
Angeles,
and
London, the
you
Jerusalem
know
have been attending football games on Saturdays without much community pressure from authorities for generations. According to Professor Maurice Berber in the ESPN documentary Dynasties, while referencing Saturday football game attendance data in each of these cities, huge numbers of fans turned out, many Jews. Like it or not, football is a Jewish tradition. Now, flag football is a Jewish tradition, it seems, as well. The head football coach of the Yeshiva University is head coach Michael Rothschild. Coach Rothschild has provided the following statement, emulating great motivators of old for all students, student athletes, administrators, faculty, staff, and fans of the Yeshiva University. We're going inside of them, we're going outside of them, inside of them, outside of them. And when we get them on the run, once we're going to keep them on the run. And we're not going to pass unless their secondary comes up too close. But don't forget women, we're gonna get them on the run, we're gonna go, 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 go. And we aren't going to stop until we go over that goal line. And don't forget women, today is the day we're gonna win. They can't lick us, and that's how it goes. The first platoon women go in there and fight, 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 fight. What do you say, women? For more information on flag football participation of the Yeshiva University, one should type ViralRabbi. Yeshiva University receives permission to field flag football teams. New York City, New York, the Yeshiva University has even more reason to celebrate. U has been granted official permission to field flag football squads. This announcement includes the opportunity, should players wish to play on Saturdays, so long as players limit sweating, a source close with ESPN has informed the Associated Press. Yeshiva University receives permission to field flag football teams. New York City, New York, the Yeshiva University has even more reason to celebrate.
it's not gonna happen.
U has
Just put the really there's really you know why.
U has been granted official permission. Yeshiva University receives permission to field flag football teams. New York City, New York, the Yeshiva University has even more reason to celebrate. U has been granted official permission to field flag football squads. This announcement includes the opportunity, should players wish to play on Saturdays, so long as players limit sweating, a source close to ESPN has informed the Associated Press. The ruling comes. Yeshiva University receives permission to field flag football teams. New York City, New York, the Yeshiva University has even more reasons to celebrate. You has been granted official permission to field flag football squads. This announcement includes the opportunity, should players wish to play on Saturdays, so long as players limit sweating, a source close to ESPN has informed the Associated Press.
People
The
are gonna be
ruling
like,
comes
no,
from the
I
highest
go to
authorities within the
ESPN
sport
more
of
than
flag football.
anyone, I think, who
Flag
doesn't
football
work on the
has been
site.
played since at least
I'm
1940
very
and has
close with it.
expanded
I'm telling you
rapidly
right
at an
now.
international level
This
in
source
recent
is
years.
telling you
According to the
there are
forward,
going to be
this
some
year,
flags on
Yeshiva University High
Saturday.
School of Los Angeles, usually referred to as EULA, joined a new girls' flag football league co-sponsored by the Rams and Chargers. LA's NFL teams, and at the end of the season, each team was invited to send one player to the Super Bowl. But EULA has had their flag football team since before either of those teams returned to town. It's one of several Jewish schools across the country where the sport was an instant hit and where girls played it before boys did. People from New York City to Los Angeles, London to Jerusalem have been attending football games on Saturdays without much community pressure from authorities for generations. According to Professor Maurice Berber in the ESPN documentary Dynasties, while referencing Saturday football game attendance data in each of these cities, huge numbers of fans turned out, many Jews. Like it or not, football is a Jewish tradition. Now, flag football is a Jewish tradition, it seems, as well. The head football coach of the Yeshiva University is head coach Michael Rothschild. Coach Rothschild has provided the following statement, emulate. The head football coach of the
They don't say head coach. Dude, do it how Lou Holtz would do it. Don't be like, hey, you got to say rabbi, doctor, Lord, blah, 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 coach, head coach. No, just be like, when they refer to him at that fucking restaurant, they'd say Mr. Holtz, and at fucking on the field, they call him coach. Contact information. Because that's more like a title on this. Like, yeah.
The head football coach of the Yeshiva University is head coach Michael Rothschild. Coach Rothschild has provided the following.
You don't have to say head coach twice. My mom would just be like, why are you doing this? Why? She wouldn't be like that, but she'd be like, honey, it's redundant. You don't need the head. Oh, well, you already said that, so you fixed it.
Coach Rothschild has provided. Yeshiva University receives permission to field
Full
flag
permission,
football teams.
official permission.
New York City, New York, the Yeshiva University has even more reasons to celebrate. You has been granted official permission to field flag football squads. This announcement includes the opportunity, should players wish to play on Saturdays, so long as players limit sweating, a source close to ESPN has informed the Associated Press. The ruling comes from the highest authorities within the sport of flag football. Flag football has been played since at least 1940 and has expanded rapidly at an international level in recent years. According to the forward, this year, Yeshiva University High School of Los Angeles, usually referred
This
to
part's
as
really
EULA,
great.
joined a new girls' flag football league co-sponsored by the Rams and Chargers. LA's NFL teams, and at the end of the season, each team was invited to send one player to the Super Bowl. But EULA has had their flag football team since before either of those teams returned to town. It's one of several Jewish schools across the country where the sport was an instant hit and where girls played it before boys did. People from New York City to Los Angeles, London to Jerusalem have been attending football games on Saturdays without much community pressure from authorities for generations. According to Professor Maurice Berber in the ESPN documentary Dynasties, while referencing Saturday football game attendance data in each of these cities, huge numbers of fans turned out, many Jews. Like it or not, football is a Jewish tradition. Now, flag football is a Jewish tradition, it seems, as well. The head flag football coach of the Yeshiva University is Coach Michael Rothschild. Coach Rothschild has provided the following statement, emulating great motivators of all for all students, student athletes, administrators, faculty, staff, and fans of the Yeshiva University. We're going inside of them, we're going outside of them, inside of them, outside of them. And when we get them on the run once, we're going to keep them on the run. And we're not going to pass unless their secondary comes up too close. But don't forget, women, we're gonna get them on the run. We're gonna go, 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 go. And we aren't going to stop until we go over that goal line. And don't forget, women, today is the day we're gonna win. They can't lick us, and that's how it goes.
Easter.
The first platoon women go in there and fight, 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 fight. What do you say, women? For more information on flag football participation of the Yeshiva University, one should type ViralRabbi into the YouTube search bar and filter by live streams or visit ViralRabbi.com. Breaking, the source close with ESPN has reported that the official mascot of the Yeshiva University flag football team is the Fighting Rabbi Tzanot. Yeshiva University, the way college is supposed to be. Contact information. Organization, the Yeshiva University flag football teams. Contact person, head flag football coach Michael Rothschild. Email mike@alumni.nb.edu. Website http URL. Address 3921 Claremont Street. City Irvine. State California. Country United States.
How are you going to put them first? The boys on this, like I play up my relationship with girls. I mean, I don't play it up. No, I don't. I mean, I forget about how many girls in my bed. No, I mean my playing this off the girls. But I'm a boy at heart. You guys see that, and I spent a lot of time with fighting bets and all, but I care about the fighting happening as well. But yeah, but like neither you motherfuckers ever lose a game. Ever. We'll be in good shape. Not that shit. That's supposed to be kind of serious. No, fuck that. Fighting with Betsino is just a hilarious. And official mascot. Of a team of
Protesters have again disrupted an LAC council meeting without the president of all authority and warned the meeting could not proceed. Everyone stand in the aisle. I'm instructing you to quietly take your seat and stop disrupting this meeting.
well, they're really a team name. The mascot's different. I know all about that shit. Really, yeah. I'm king of that shit. Oh, easily. I'm crying about the old timers, kids. Okay. Team, the official mascot, team name is the Yeshiva University. A source close with ESPN has reported that an official team name being considered.
Goddamn Stephen Hawking. No, wasn't
Is
like a totally normal kid who just needed someone to grab the listener for me. And,
President Biden's campaign for Democrats in Florida, ABC's Karen Travers says Biden is focused heavily on the issue of healthcare costs. The White House has decided that will continue to make this case, and if Republicans retake control of Congress, millions of
I love winning isn't everything. It's the only thing.
And a monkey smuggler in Texas is facing 20 years in federal prison for bringing the spider monkey into the country. U.S. Attorney's Office says the woman pleaded guilty to escaping the immigration checkpoint and importing wild animals into the country without declaring it. The woman lied when she brought the woman in custody in March and the box was filled with beer. The monkey was recovered.
No, he's giving a finger.
We'll check the 101 freeway. Coming up, how are you going to ask that? Maybe you have a home and that home is paid off or nearly paid off. It's worth something, right? And you want to protect that for your
There you go.
children. Well, you got to go and make sure you're taken care of legally. And that's
And it said winning isn't everything, it's the only thing.
now there's the break. There really go. You can put up these, you get to put together a will or a trust, and then everything transfers to your loved one without costly delay. A group called the Legal Docs by Me will give you peace of mind. No expensive lawyers, no confusing websites. You'll save thousands. Yes, I said thousands. All you do is call them. Call them right now. Get it started.
He's Mr. Football Kid.
Better at night, knowing your loved ones are taken care of. It's God forbid anything happens. Legal Docs.
Look at these bike shorts. This look, damn kids, is that a look? This, hell yeah. Look at this. Could you look any better on the sidelines with those fucking video players? All right, are you done? He just fucking wore this fucking thing everywhere. I'm gonna wear a suit. Yeah, I'm gonna wear a suit and yeah. Oh no. Take the vest off. The vest. Oh hell no. Oh hell no. Hell no. All right, are you done? Hey, kid. I wear this jet. I wear this vest all the time. Hey, winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. His hands like this. Hey. I don't see it, but it made an impression on me. Forever. Same with the fridge. William, refrigerator, Perry. Poster, we'll get him back. There you go. The fridge. Was it that? I didn't say that fucking shit on it. I just said this. That one? Fuck yeah. He scored in the Super Bowl. Kids and everybody can say that. William Refrigerator Perry. Okay, cool dog. Everybody was like, oh, cool dog. What were we saying? I want winning is everything. It's the only thing. No, I mean, I even check it more often than Stephen A. Smith. People who work there don't check. Hannah Storm doesn't check as much as I do. Fuck no. Really? Fuck no. That's all pull information. I'm like, give me that shit as opposed to. All right, are you done? Push versus pull information. What's push information? Push information like that. Pull information like that. All right, are you done? But really, it's push when you this to me and pull. Yeah, but that's me going out there because I don't always want to read about that shit. You see me?
Order 24/7 from over 95,000 restaurants on easycater.com.
Jacob and Ronnie. If you've been in an accident, call 844-24-JACOB. More stimulating talk.
It would be really winning ain't everything.
It is the College of Mark Thompson, heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. We're working on Twitter is going to make some changes. We'll get around to that a little late. Also, Powerball $1.2 million. In Orange County is declaring a health emergency due to rapidly spreading viral infection, including RSV. RSV drops days from RSV.
They don't say head coach. Do it how football. Don't be like, hey, you gotta say rabbi, doctor, coach, head coach. No, just be like, when they refer to him at the fucking restaurant, they say Mr. Bowles and fucking.
Walden, Colorado, 11 degrees. Ding dong. Ding dong. I love that. Good. All right, we talked earlier about Taylor Swift, their big concert. She has them. She's a all top 10. What was it? That concert?
Why are you doing this? Why? You don't need.
Yeshiva University receives permission to field flag football teams. New York City, New York, the Yeshiva University has even more reasons to celebrate. U has been granted official permission to field flag football squads. This announcement includes the opportunity, should players wish to play on Saturdays, so long as players limit sweating, a source close to ESPN has informed the Associated Press. The ruling comes from the highest authorities within the sport of flag football. Flag football has been played since at least 1940 and has expanded rapidly at an international level in recent years. According to the forward, this year, Yeshiva University High School of Los Angeles, usually referred to as ULA, joined a new girls' flag football league co-sponsored by the Rams and Chargers. LA's NFL teams, and at the end of the season, each team was invited to send one player to the Super Bowl. But ULA has had their flag football team since before either of those teams returned to town. It's one of several Jewish schools across the country where the sport was an instant hit and where girls played it before boys did. People from New York City to Los Angeles, London to Jerusalem have been attending football games on Saturdays without much community pressure from authorities for generations. According to Professor Maurice Berber in the ESPN documentary Dynasties, while referencing Saturday football game attendance data in each of these cities, huge numbers of fans turned out, many Jews. Like it or not, football is a Jewish tradition. Now, flag football is a Jewish tradition, it seems, as well. The head flag football coach of the Yeshiva University is Coach Michael Rothschild. Coach Rothschild has provided the following statement in an attempt to emulate great motivators of yesteryear for all students, student-athletes, administrators, faculty, staff, and fans of the Yeshiva University. We're going inside of them, we're going outside of them, inside of them, outside of them. And when we get them on the run, once we're going to keep them on the run. And we're not going to pass unless their secondary comes up too close. But don't forget women, we're gonna get them on the run, we're gonna go. And we aren't going to stop until we go over that goal line. And don't forget women, today is the day we're gonna win. They can't lick us, and that's how it goes. The first platoon women go in there and fight. What do you say, women? For more information on flag football participation of the Yeshiva University, one should type ViralRabbi into the YouTube search bar and filter by live streams or visit ViralRabbi.com. The official Yeshiva University flag football motto is "Winning isn't everything. Winning is the only thing." Breaking, a source close with ESPN has reported that an official team name being considered for the Yeshiva University flag football team is the Fightin' Rebbe Tzanat. Yeshiva University, the way college is supposed to be. Contact information. Organization, the Yeshiva University flag football teams. Contact person, head flag football coach Michael Rothschild. Email mike@alumni.nd.edu. Website http URL. Address 3921 Claremont Street. City Irvine. State California. Country United States. Yeshiva University receives permission to field flag football teams. New York City, New York. The Yeshiva University has even more reasons to celebrate. You has been granted official permission to field flag football squads.
I play up. I really. But I don't play it up. No. I don't. I mean, I forget about how many those. No, I mean, by playing this up. But
Yeshiva University receives permission to field flag football teams. New York City, New York. The Yeshiva University has more reasons to celebrate. You has been granted official permission to field flag football squads. This announcement includes the opportunity, should players wish to play on Saturdays, so long as players limit sweating, a source close to ESPN has informed the Associated Press. The ruling comes from the highest authorities within the sport of flag football. Flag football has been played since at least 1940 and has expanded rapidly at an international level in recent years. According to the forward, this year, Yeshiva University High School of Los Angeles, usually referred to as ULA, joined a new girls' flag football league co-sponsored by the Rams and Chargers. LA's NFL teams, and at the end of the season, each team was invited to send one player to the Super Bowl. But ULA has had their flag football team since before either of those teams returned to town. It's one of several Jewish schools across the country where the sport was an instant hit and where girls played it before boys did.
Within the sport.
People from New York City to Los Angeles, London to Jerusalem have been attending football games on Saturdays without much community pressure from authorities for generations. According to Professor Maurice Ferber in the ESPN documentary Dynasties, non-referencing Saturday football game attendance data in each of these cities. Huge numbers of fans turned out, many Jews. Like it or not, football is a Jewish tradition. Now, flag football is a Jewish tradition, it seems, as well. The head flag football coach of the Yeshiva University is Coach Michael Rothschild. Coach Rothschild has provided the following statement in an attempt to emulate great motivators of yesteryear for all students, student athletes, administrators, faculty, staff, and fans of the Yeshiva University. We're going inside of them, we're going outside of them, inside of them, outside of them. And when we get them on the run, once we're going to keep them on the run. And we're not going to pass unless their secondary comes up too close. But don't forget, women, we're gonna get them on the run. We're gonna go. And we aren't going to stop until we go over that goal line. And don't forget, women, today is the day we're gonna win. They can't lick us, and that's how it goes. The first platoon women go in there and fight. What do you say, women? For more information on flag football participation of the Yeshiva University, one should type ViralRabbi into the YouTube search bar and filter by live streams or visit ViralRabbi.com. The official Yeshiva University flag football motto is "Winning isn't everything. Winning is the only thing." A source close with ESPN has reported that an official team name being considered for the Yeshiva University flag football team is the Fightin' Rebbe Tzanat. Yeshiva University, the way college is supposed to be. Contact information. Organization, the Yeshiva University flag football teams. Contact person, head flag football coach Michael Rothschild. Email mike@alumni.nd.edu. Website http URL. Address 3921 Claremont Street. City Irvine. State California. Country United States.
These Mr. Football kids. These bike short. This look. Damn, kids, is that a look? This? Hell yeah. Look at this. Could you look any better on the sidelines with those fucking video players? Are you done? You just fucking wear this fucking thing everywhere. I'm gonna wear a suit. Yeah, I'm gonna wear a suit and yeah. Oh no. I take the vest off. The vest. Oh hell no. Oh hell. I
awareness of everything. And we all
The pain of these high interest rates will only be temporary. Call me today for a pre-approval or a second look. We have programs others don't, offering mortgages in the 5, yes to 5, even on bank statement loans. High 3% first but won't cash out? Keep it. Get a second or a HELOC. Need a bank statement second? We have those now too. Tax returns not needed. We have 40-year loans to give you a lower payment and a
William.
Good savings monthly $850 a month. Financing for the self-employed or W-2 833-886-3863.
There you go.
I answer my own call.
Fridge.
833-886-3863.
Was it that?
833-886-fund. Call me now.
That one? Fuck you.
833-886-fund.
He scored the Super Bowl, kills everybody and said that one refrigerator carry a cool dog. Everybody was like, oh, cool dog. What were we saying? I want winning is everything. That's cool for him to send those out. Right, yeah. No, I mean, I even check it more often than Stephen A. Smith. People who work there don't check. Half Storm doesn't check as much as I do. Really? Fuck. That's all. Hold on. I'm like, give me that shit. That's gross. Are you done? Push, 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 Are you done? Even really push. But that's my going out there because I don't always want to do that shit. Oh, that was good. Well, now you don't have anything for which to be excited. Those are fun. Did you knock them out of the park? All 3 of them? Yeah. Why? First one was like, I was tired, so whatever, but I did a good job. I don't think that up all the time. Second one, fuck yeah, she's cool. Really shout out to Yaya Diamond. And then third was D. Why? I went to say the Let's Go Brandon show and just come out. Isn't that a fucking race car driver or something? Yeah, it's a race car driver, sure. Alright, man. Yeah, I should be like, oh, it's good, man. Really? I think it's good. Really? I should be like, no. Hey, listen to Shannon fucking on the purse strings over there, getting rid of Mike at alumni.edu, the most famous collegiate email address of all time. He's over here jerking himself off in the dome. Like, oh, I don't know what to do with all this fucking money. Got $10 fucking billion. I'm not gonna fucking spend it. Purse strings, purse strings. Hey, purse strings.
call me when you get a second. That's Argo. And he called me about 3 seconds later, and I didn't pick up. Did they get money out of it? That's what it was about. And they called me again and again and again, and I didn't pick up on Saturday or Sunday. And I felt really bad. Well, honestly, that's a great scene. I just go right to yeah. I finally talked to him on Sunday. Good buddy, what's going on there?
Try to sell a shepherd. Really complicated one. Christy Baranski.
I'll tell you a great Brian Whitman story. Brian Whitman grew up in Long Island. No, not Long Island. What are some of the areas? I think it was Long Island.
Yeah, I didn't always think it was so hot. Like,
To this day, he still thinks about that every single day, and he can't figure out who.
I just saw the shepherd movie.
He said it's torture.
You like Christy Baranski? Oh my god. Why? She just looks like such a bitch.
Like that. I talk myself out of I'm a high concept, and when I leave the station, I walk down 4 flights of stairs, and I get to the bottom. There's exactly 80 stairs.
I think that's become better.
If I get down to the bottom, I'm on 78 or 79, and now it's not to do. But that is like one of the few things that people accept it on the track in the parking lot. Yes. No, not the track in the parking lot. Okay, so you know how many stairs it is from
Stair count is a thing.
P1 to the top is how many stairs. I don't count from 26. I just have to know that it's an odd number. But here's what I do. I predict when I'm walking in the garage, I can predict with my
Can you count the last step?
20 or 30 yards in front of me if I'm going to hit a tractor.
Last step. That's a flip. But yeah. It's like how many times do I have to lift my foot? Going up.
Where she'll have to set it and use that group on it. Just let it act like that. 45.
Damn, dog.
My focus is in my hand
Drilling instructions in a 3D printer. Damn, that's interesting. My friend Josie, his brother is a mason. I'm a mason too. Different right here. Shout out to Ivan. Right here.
She took 3K from me and
Jesus Christ.
single. That's not okay. Yeah, I agree. I think that you're a fucking idiot for giving her $3,000. I don't think it's okay at all. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're pathetic. You deserve to lose your money. And hey, don't worry about it. Think of it as like you just paid $3,000 for a life lesson. Now, this might not be the last time or the first time you've learned that lesson, but it's another episode.
All right, you know what? I should look at dog.
It's what's required. It's called quiet.
This guy's funny. What's like
it's
quiet
called doing your
and
job.
stops.
If I'm supposed to go above and beyond, then so should we.
Thank you.
We're driving so crazy. Each of us Star satisfaction is the other thing. Oh yeah, right. Yeah. Go on and right. Chili shows. So you have that OTD in you, and most radio people do.
I pay. Don't expect something for nothing, right? Or does that only apply to poor people? Yeah, my employees show up every day, but they don't dress up like Santa Claus and bring me toys, so they're lazy. You're lucky that an employee does their job. I've done so little at work before that it wasn't even quietly quitting. It was technically robbing. Oh, what a stupid video. You have to be like 13 years old. Such a
Right, that's fine. This guy who got domestically abused looks like Al Gore. That's a real thing. But he looks like Al Gore to me.
Because just because this absolute second you're not currently hitting me, you think that you haven't.
Like when I go to get ready for work, everything.
Does he look like Al Gore still? She'd be like, "You still look like Al Gore, bitch! You still look like Al Gore!" So watch this one, because this is a thing. But yeah.
But if I try to do things opposite,
Because just because this absolute second you're not currently hitting me, you think that you haven't been listening.
I think you should change the definition of domestic abuse to be domestic physical abuse versus domestic sexual abuse, because there are different kinds of abuse. It can be both. But I feel like there's two different kinds. Like, it doesn't sound like sexual abuse there, but it's definitely physical. And it's sexual abuse, but not physical. But yeah, I mean, if anybody could ever do it, well, I can, and thank God. But yeah, let's calm down. Sexual abuse. Oh, hold on. Not with anyone with whom I grew up or anything. I get no girl. A couple girls actually. But yeah. What? They grabbed my dick in the middle of a party. Just grabbed me by the pussy. And what else? Until I don't have sex with a girl in the middle of the night, and she jumped on me. Fuck me. Did you fight? I mean, I was just like, I couldn't hurt her. Allegedly. Yeah. I mean, thank God I didn't have to deal with that shit. So you shouldn't put your hands on it. Air permission. No matter what. Yeah. Unless they threaten your life. Talk to me right now.
Libraries in LA County started giving out diapers, wipes, and mommy pads for free as part of a program run by LA County supervisors.
That's cool.
Baby to Baby and LA County Library. Libraries in Bolton Park, Willowbrook, and Greenville were there to get the start of the program last Friday. Supervisor Lisa McQuaid is hard and let me know supplies that people can get out. We're taking 50 freeway. One of the biggest decisions you all have to make in your life.
Shout out to Sign Rider.
Senior living plan for a parent or a grandchild. Let me make your decision easy. Round three, I deserve it dozens of times. And I know people have worked there, I know people live there, people always join. And personally, I think Round three is the way the finest.
Now you don't have anything public there. Inside.
Campus is huge. Lots of trees, lots of greenery. Like
Fine. First one was like upstairs or whatever, but I did.
You're surrounded by just really great cottages and apartments. Great. There's a million reasons, but the biggest reason is staff. They're caring, compassionate.
Let's go bring the show.
Your loved one is independent, or maybe they need nursing care. They can do it all. Laundry, it really is the best. I would feel so very comfortable. My mom and dad are living at Boundary. I really look forward to visiting them. Visit them online. Go check it out. RoundTreeGardens.com. RoundTreeGardens.com. inside looks about 50 degrees, cloudy and cooler tomorrow.
Are you done? Oh my god. I have a headache. Really, I should fucking dehydrate you.
Hey, this Michigan, Christian over there. My ability that you did most green school. Just the time.
Breeders' Cup. Here it goes. Good, good.
Mark Thompson is here till 9 bells or whenever on the iHeartRadio app. The big story for you in the lottery tomorrow is going to 1.2 billion. So the big $1 billion Uber revenue jumped 70% on strong demand for rides. And they said one of the powerful Falcons has dropped for the first time in 3 years. The nation military said, Pelosi thing is puzzling, and
BWC.
nobody knows what happened. Nobody knows what happened. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. The problem is people are all speculating what happened, and they all have wild, like so wild different ideas of what went on, and nobody can figure out. People calling them right wing, people calling them left wing, people calling them a supporter of BLM, a supporter of QAnon. He's all over the place. Yeah, I mean, you can look at his posts and stuff. He's a black guy. He's a Trump. He's crazy. Yeah, he's got right-wing stuff. He's got left-wing stuff. He's doing everything you just said. It's reflected in all of his posts. We're talking about this for a couple of days. Oh, you know, it's for a year. Oh, for a year. Yeah, for an entire year. For a year, I gotta say, when you
Let's go. Is that it? Perfect. Perfectly imperfect. Oh, you done? You gotta go with this. Quick,
Hey, don't worry about it. It's like you just paid $3,000 for a life lesson. This might not be the last time or the first time you learned that lesson, but it's another episode. It's called quiet quitting. Now it's called doing your job. This guy got domesticated like a godboy. It's a real thing. It's a godboy.
Did you get come up there on the S? I did.
Still look like outdoor bitch. You still look like outdoor. Watch
One of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life. Matthew Perry is so out of line with that, and that made me instantly not want to buy a book. Well, Matthew Perry probably was just quickly. I know him. I
think you should change the definition of domestic. There's two domestic sections. They're different. But I feel like there's like it doesn't sound like
here, but I'm looking at this turkey dinner. It's like their Mongo's offering. Turkey gravy, cranberry sauce, stuffing, baby carrots, cream and pearl, onions, baked yams, with honey and marshmallow, rolled butter, So I figured my dad would pick me up. We go down Holly Park. At 9:30 on Thanksgiving, when everybody was home cooking. And one of the
So,
things
baby, I gotta get
that's now Argentina didn't know is that one of the things that if you go to travel Thanksgiving, they give you a little red ticket. It's like a little ticket to a carnival. And then you came in line and they give you a full turkey dinner with mashed potatoes.
I need to put a difference on
My dad and I would be standing in line with 800 homeless guys. And my dad just there with that turkey dinner with all these homeless guys. And we were like, we go home and we have to try to pretend that
6:30 without stuff on. Do that. I hope that happens.
turkey dinner.
Sure.
Down all the park,
I got two slides right here.
think about buying like well, I think grab some stuff. Oh, you do? Well, that's great. I have some menus and I have about 3 more menus. I have one of the tellers, where they the close sign. I want the one I grabbed. Because I knew they were. I went to Hollywood Park a week before they were closed at 10 before they were just going to raise it. And I walked in like I worked there and nobody said anything to me. And I walked around the entire. I think I had video. I walked around the entire track, every room, because of the racing club, the president's club, the entire banquet buffet area, and the bars. I drove around and I was the only guy there. It was like 4:35 or something going down, and I walked around the entire park by myself. And I was able to grab a piece of one of their television. Great idea. I remember my dad would wear a hat because a lot of people recognize him and stuff. And we sat there with literally 800 homeless people eating that turkey dinner. We loved it, man. He had the best time of his life. That was the truth. That's the stuff, man. When you reassess your life and look at the things you've done, you've been a part of, man. Those are the things that just warm you up. Yeah, you're right. I have pictures of us in Hollywood Park, just eating that stupid turkey dinner. That's great. That's great. Canada were live on KFI. We're now proud to KFI 24 News. California Attorney General announced the state's first sexual assault evidence outreach coordinator and an online portal to track and process sexual assault evidence. Police in Chicago said 15 people have been injured in a drive-by shooting. 3 children among those hurt in last week's shooting killed a custody. And the Powerball jackpot was the 4th largest in U.S. history at $1.2 billion. Surpassed the record $1.56 billion to become the state's title prize in the U.S. If no one wins the sale. If you're back in Royal Heights, with the latest just dropping out before you make your way to Channel 3. Even issue with the big backup heading to the West Terminal just under off of Harvard Drive. So, with big jam packed down there, Knoll Drive. From what we heard, Xavier called us up earlier, so that he's been waiting for like 3 hours. So everyone's not moving quickly at all. We're also seeing delays along Terminal Way over by Navy Way. So things are pretty jam packed at that stretch. Head up on the side, get you there faster. I think you're working at it. this report is sponsored by Unbound.org. Right now, they're young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of making construction work for family.